All right, so time to do my hands. So I'm gonna select the hand. I'm gonna hit tab to go into edit mode. I'm forward slash to isolate. Select it. Now you're gonna see mine has these blue lines, and that's because they are marked sharp. I'm not sure when that happened, but if you see this on yours, you can just hit A and just go to Edge and just do clear sharp, and that will get rid of those blue lines because that was a little bit confusing looking. All right, so I'm gonna hit 2 to go into Edge mode. I'm gonna hold Alt. I'm gonna click on this line here, which is right down the center. So we're basically gonna mark the seams the same way that you would mark them on a if the character was wearing gloves, right? So if you look at gloves, it's literally just the front and the back, like both sides. So I'm just going to go right down the line. Now you're going to see right here, it doesn't know which way to go. So you have to like, for every one of these knuckles, I'm going to hold Alt and Shift click, Alt and Shift click, and basically just go all the way around. Alt and Shift. That was not what I wanted to do. Wrong one. Alt and Shift here, Alt and Shift there. And so you're just going to have to work your way all the way around. This middle finger doesn't have the edges correctly, so I apparently screwed that up. Oh, only the one finger is right. That's weird. Well, I'm going to leave it alone for now. But you're probably going to have to go all the way around all of the fingers here until it gets around to the other side, right? So basically, cut all the way around and to the other side. Once you're done with that, just hit U, hit mark seam, and then now we have the seam marked. And then we'll just hit A, we'll hit U again, and then you're just going to unwrap minimal stretch, and you'll just basically see two hands, the front and the back of the hand, okay? I believe this is just a mirror, this other side, right? Or no, is it not? Is it actually a separate piece? It looks like it is. So with this selected, I'm just going to hit mesh and just do symmetrize. Not like that. Let's switch this. So symmetrize. Oh, weird. That's not it either. I wonder if it's doing it by object. Um, oh, because it's actually physically a separate object. That's what's happening. I can't flip that because this is not. This is just the mirror modifier. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's good. So I'll go into object mode, unselect it, hit that forward slash. All right. Let's go ahead and do the head. Okay. So select the head. I'm gonna hit that forward slash. Then I'll hit tab to go into edit mode. So this is gonna be a little bit different depending on what your character looks like. But I'm gonna show you kind of what you would want to do typically. Okay. So you remember before I was saying, oh, it's like a box, okay? So what I want to do is I want to more or less create that box when I cut this out. So it might make more sense to watch me do this and then just do it afterwards. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to go up to, so if we look at the head here, right? You can see there's kind of, this is the back of the head, this is the front of the head, this is the top of the head, this is the side of the head, right? So I want to go from this middle line up to the part, like basically to the, all the way through the back until it becomes where I think I would start considering it the top. So I'm going to go from here and I'm just going to hold control. Let's go to here. Is that okay? So that's still not far enough. Let's go another one. And that's probably pretty close. So we're going to go up basically and say that's the back panel. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go around like this. I'm going to go all the way around. I just have to manually hold shift and click all the way around until you get to where you would consider the side panel becomes the front panel, which is, to me, roughly here. It could probably go in a little bit farther. Like I could have gone here. If I went one down and went across, I could probably get to this brow area, but I'm just going to go there. You're just going to, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay. Now I could have gone up and gone to this point. So depending on how yours looks, this is where mine went. So it's going to look like, if you're familiar with football, it's going to look like a field goal. Okay, so you're going to do that. Then you'll hit U and you'll mark those seams. Okay, then I'll hit A, then I'll hit U, and then I'm just going to unwrap with minimal stretch. And you'll end up with something like this. So you'll have the two eyes and you'll have a mouth. Now, with mine in particular, I have this big old beak, so I got to cut that separately. But if you just have a normal human mouth, this is where you would just leave it like that, and it's perfectly fine. You might have ears. Now, if you have large ears, like bunny or something ears, you're going to want to cut those out and make those separate because otherwise they'll just get mashed up trying to fit in here. If you have human ears, depending on the size of them, you may just be able to leave them in, or you can cut them off as well. Okay. I am going to cut off my beak just because this is such a large area of my dude. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Alt and Shift, Alt and Shift, and I am going to, I should have made this a little bit more definitive of where the beak started and ended because this doesn't feel very, I didn't do a very good job on this model. That's the inside of my mouth. Oh, it looks like this isn't merged down here either. This is always a really good opportunity that you can find where you might have screwed up some areas of the model. So I'm going to grab basically all around the beak here, and I'm going to cut that. I'm going to hit U. I'm going to mark that seam, and then let's hit A, and then U again, and I'll unwrap, and that will allow the beak to be cut from there. Now, because it's when I'm looking at this, it's you can see here's the inside of the mouth. It's going to cause, oh, I also want to cut out the inside of my mouth. So if we look, I kind of did this box going in. That's all fitting inside of this. So I'm actually going to cut that out as well. So what that means is inside of here, and if you have a human, you would want to do this too. The inside of the mouth, you're going to want to cut out. So I'm inside here. Basically, I can see here, right? It's like the lip area, and then there's kind of the flat part. I'm gonna go just after that. So let's see if we do Shift Z. That's not easy to see. I'm gonna go just after to this edge loop. Alt, I'm gonna click on that, and that should go hopefully all the way around. I'm gonna hit Shift Z. Yeah. So basically just inside when it becomes the inside of the mouth. So I'm gonna click in there, and I'm gonna mark that as a seam as well. Hit U, mark seam. I'm gonna hit Shift Z again, hit A, hit U, and then let's go ahead and unwrap minimal stretch, and that will cut the inside of the mouth as a separate piece because I don't really, and that could be super tiny. That doesn't really matter as much. Um, that's a little bit better. Now, right now, the way that I have it is that you can see there aren't any seams here, which is good. But it might be stretching the beak out in order to make it fit. Because if you think about it, right here is the tip of the mouth, right? But you can see like if you look at how big this is here, see how big this face is here, and then look how big that is there. That's not proportionate. And the reason why is because it's trying to stretch to fit. So what I'm going to do, and again, this is for my particular thing, in order to make this a little bit more relaxed, I'm actually going to cut the mouth here, which I'm not a huge fan of doing, but I don't really feel like I have much of a choice. So I'm going to hold Alt and click on that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I don't suggest this for you. I'm just doing it on mine in particular, but this way you can kind of see when you do things, you have to like make some choices about stuff. So I'm gonna grab those. I'm gonna hit U to mark seam. It did the inside of the mouth too, but I don't really care about the inside of the mouth. I'm just gonna color it one color, so it doesn't really matter. Then we'll hit A, then we'll hit U, and then I'm gonna go ahead and unwrap minimal stretch. And now you can see the beak is much more relaxed and it makes much more sense with the way that it is. Now I am gonna end up with an extra seam right here, so hopefully you don't see it. This little red, where that seam is. But it's kind of for the best just for the purposes of making this sort of work. So I am just going to leave that as it is. So yeah, for the most part, you should only really have to do that one thing. It shouldn't matter otherwise. So you can see right here, I can see there's some weird geometry. So I'm actually going to grab that. Where is that? Let's hit Shift Z, and that is, oh, did I not grab it? Let's hit one. Let's grab that whole section. Okay. So it's right in the, oh, where I said I saw it earlier. So right here, you can see there's some weirdness. I'm going to grab these over here. I'm going to hover over here, and then I hit M, and I'm going to merge at center. And then we should be able to do it here too. M at center. Okay. And that will fix that little area there. Okay. And I'm going to fix the inside of the mouth and stuff like that. So hopefully that makes sense. So that's what you're going to want to do. We want to try and minimize the number of stretches that we have. I still have these floating vertices. I do not know what just happened there. Okay, so that would be the head. So now we have all the pieces. We need to do one more step to get this all to kind of work, and then we can start texturing.